All right, as usual, let's check that this is actually going right now because I would not put it past me to have some kind of technical difficulties. Okay, looks like we're actually live. Hello, 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 everyone. So happy to be here doing another live stream, another just casual fun chat and reading sprints. This may become a weekly thing, at least for now. We'll see once work gets busier and busier as the school year really gets ramped up. But I am just so happy to be here, and I hope that you all are doing well. Hello, Monica. Hi, Vi. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, thank you. It just says stay home and read. I remember getting this around lockdown time. There was like a campaign going around where somebody made these little t-shirts about staying home and reading. And I do that anyway, lockdown or no. So, I had to get me one. Hi, Linda. So I hope that everyone is doing well, and definitely let me know what you are currently reading, or if you're not going to be reading tonight during the sprints, let me know what you will be working on if you're getting work done, or if you're just maybe watching some TV or what have you. I am currently reading, I'm on page 9 because I was only able to start reading like 20 minutes ago. So I'm currently reading Fire by TJ Klune. So this is book 2 in his Extraordinary series. So I am rereading the first 2 books of this series because book 3, which is Heat Wave, just came out. I want to say end of July, like I want to say the last week or so of July. And so because I hadn't read the first 2 books in a year, I knew that I had to reread them because I remember very little, especially from the second book. I feel like I remember more about the first book than this one. So I reread the first book a few days ago, loved it just as much as I did the first time. Gave it 5 stars. This second go around, again, just like I did the first time, I gave this book 5 stars the first time that I read it as well. I have a feeling that I'm going to love it just as much this time. If you don't know anything about this series, as you can probably tell from the covers, this is a YA contemporary but also science fiction-y series all about superheroes, specifically like LGBTQ plus superheroes. And we have our main character, Nick, right here. He has ADHD, and we live in a world where superheroes exist, but they don't know how the superheroes got their powers. Maybe they were born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. We don't really know. We learn more and more about that throughout the books for sure. And so, yeah, we have Nick, our main character. Like I said, he has ADHD. He does not have powers, but he desperately wants to be an extraordinary. And he writes self-insert fan fiction where he's in a relationship with this superhero known as Shadow Star. And he is just obsessed with this superhero. And this series, you guys, it's so campy, it's so funny. There's just something about TJ Klune's sense of humor and writing that just really, really, really works for me. So yeah, this is just really fun. Just one of the best superhero series that I've probably ever read. Honestly, it's just such a good time. Anything TJ Klune writes, I'm just obsessed with. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. I'm literally on page 9. So I'm definitely happy to be doing sprints tonight so that I can get a good chunk of this read because I want to be able to jump into Heat Wave as soon as possible. So now let's actually look at some comments here. Okay, I've heard very mixed things about that book, Miriam. So you're going to have to let me know if you're enjoying it. This is Riley Sager's latest thriller, by the way. And yeah, I haven't heard the best things about it, but I hope that you enjoy it. Oh, I've heard that that's like a very, very, very dark thriller. I've never read anything by Karen Slaughter, but I've heard nothing but great things. I've heard that she's a phenomenal thriller author. Noble Prince. I I had very good intentions. I was going to uh participate in that read along and then it never happened. So, oops. I need to read more from Devney Perry. I've read two of her books. One of them I gave 4 stars, one of them I gave 3 stars. So I'm hoping that I'll find a 5-star read from her. But we will just have to see. Ooh, come on, Mafia Romance. I just read Bound by Love by Cora Riley last night or yesterday. And then the other day I read Mafia Mistress by Mila Finelli. So I'm definitely in the Mafia Romance mood as well. Tin Queen, that's another Clifton Forge book by Devney Perry. Come on, TJ Klune. We're basically twinsies. I have not read that book. I've only read Wolf Song in that series. And I know I need to continue. I need to. But that series just keeps going like on the back burner of my TBR. The Duchess Deal. Literally my favorite historical romance ever. And I think you're reading it because of my recommendation, right, Carrie? I'm pretty sure we talked about this. And I know that you've been enjoying the ACOTAR series as well. So that's fun. I need to read more from Kennedy Ryan. I think I've only read one book by her. A Crime. Honestly, truly. Yes! This is the second book in the Antiheroes in Love duet by Gianna Darling. Literally my favorite Mafia romance ever. And I don't think any Mafia romance I read will ever top it. It's phenomenal. I need to read more by Gianna Darling. Like, you guys can start bullying me to read more from her backlist because I need to. It needs to happen. I need to get into Mary Balog. Is that how her name? Balog? I think that's how her last name is pronounced. I definitely need to get into her, but I have not been in the mood to read a historical romance in like 2 months. So when I get back in the mood, though, I definitely want to check out that series. How are you liking that book? Is that an adult fantasy series? Yeah, I don't know. I'm very like wary when it comes to adult romance at this point. I mean, not adult romance, adult fantasy at this point, because a lot of the time, like the world and the magic system and the plot, like things just get very complicated and it's just too much for my brain to handle. So I do hope that you are enjoying that series. I've heard pretty good things. Ooh, that's a good idea. Oh, yes, come on, Thief of Shadows. Yes, 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 yes. My favorite book that I have read by Elizabeth Hoyt. It's fantastic. If you guys know nothing about this book, it's book 4 in the Maiden Lane series. It's a historical romance series, and we have a virgin hero who's kind of like Batman, and it's amazing. It's incredible. Hey, Monty. Ooh, Book of Gothel. Nice. I'm trying. Wait. You know what? I might be getting this book confused with something else. Do I know what Book of Gothel is? I don't know. Yes, I hope you love it, Carrie. Please. Like, oh, the Duchess Deal is just chef's kiss. Tessa Dare is like everything to me. Hey, Tori. All right. So, how is it? What? How has it already been 10 minutes since since I went live? What is happening? Yeah. So I think the plan, I kind of want to jump right into a reading sprint. We have a couple more comments. Filthy Rich Vampire. I've never heard of this. You're gonna have to let me know how it is, Tori. I've never heard of this book. I've never heard of this author, but I'm intrigued. Oh, is that Is that Alice Feeney's newest release? Did she release a new book this year? I read Rock, Paper, Scissors and His and Hers by this author, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Like, Alice Feeney is a solid thriller author for sure. Hey, Liesel or Liesel? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I would find really interesting books just like scrolling through KU. Like I want to do that one day. Like maybe I'll do a vlog where I'm just scrolling through KU and like especially cuz they'll try to recommend you things. So I might do a vlog one day where I read like Amazon's recommendations or like KU's recommendations and see if they're any good. Yeah, rock, paper, scissors. I really enjoyed that one. I gave it 4.5 stars. I have really enjoyed Alice Feeney's thrillers. My only thing is, after reading two of her books, I feel like she always includes like one too many plot twists. And it's odd. I've never read a thriller author that does that with their plot twists like she does. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I might do it. It's an interesting idea. Nice. So yeah, the plan tonight is I want to start with a 40-minute sprint. Then we'll chat some more, have a good time, and then we'll do a 30-minute sprint. And then I think we'll end the night with a 20-minute sprint. I think that's going to work best for me and my brain. Hopefully, that works well for you guys. So, I do just want to kind of jump right into a sprint. I am going to add our timer, our kitty cat timer. I have to give credit where credit is due. Oh, I need to, there we go. I got the idea for this timer to use this timer from Monty. So thank you, Monty. But as usual, we always have to give this disclaimer with this timer. There will be a meow at the end. Now I will be lowering the volume on my laptop. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully the meow won't scare you guys, but just know that it's happening. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this 40-minute sprint. Break it up however you need to, because I understand, reading for 40 minutes straight may not work for everybody. But yeah, all that being said, have a good sprint, everyone. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Right. All right, everyone. 40 minutes done. I feel like those 40 minutes flew by for me. How did you guys feel about it? I read just about 40 pages, which isn't bad. I would have liked to have read a little bit more, but I find that sometimes when I'm in the beginning of a book, any given book, it doesn't really matter. It usually takes me a little longer to read like the beginning chunk of a book, and then I find I don't know, I kind of find my way and I like, get into the groove of it, and then I can speed up my reading speed. Um, Also, I am listening to the audiobook for this. This is Flashfire by TJ Klune. By the way, highly, highly, highly recommend the audiobooks for this series. Michael Leslie narrates them, and it's incredible what he can do with his voice. Like, he truly sounds like all of these different characters. And it's really cute too, because there's like a reverse side to the dust jacket. So it says A Pleasure to Burn. That's the title of the fan fiction that the main character, Nick, is writing about his relationship with an extraordinary, aka a superhero. Also, you guys may have noticed I was laughing quite a bit during the sprint. Oh my god, TJ Klune makes me laugh, literally laugh out loud like no other author. Um, Sometimes when I find something funny in a book, I'll just kind of like smile, maybe chuckle a little bit. But like TJ Klune is one of the only authors I know of that makes me cackle laughing. So yeah, I am just having a fun time. Let's look at some comments here. Oh, looks like people were discussing things during the sprint. Fun times. All right, let's see. Nice. I need to read this book. I need to get back into fantasy romance. I have not read a fantasy romance in a long time, not counting the ACOTAR series for like the SJM along. But yeah. Hey, Jen. Ooh, editing a video. Love on the brain. Let me know what you think of it. I'm curious. I haven't heard too many people talking about it. Like, I'm sure quite a few people have gotten arcs, but I haven't heard too much. Nice. Let's see. Hey, Stacy. How are you? Nice. Yeah, I need to read this book. I hope an audiobook comes out, because with fantasy, like whether it be fantasy romance or just regular fantasy, like I would much prefer having the audiobook so that I can follow along with like the physical or the ebook copy while listening to it. Oh yeah, that's exciting. Sorry. I think it's also that this was a long sprint. So by the time we got to 40 minutes, like I feel like we all forgot that the meow was going to happen. But what helps me is that I have earphones or headphones on, so it's not as loud. And like I said, I did lower the volume on my laptop. So I would also recommend that you lower the volume on your device if you haven't done so already. Oh no. So many people with cats panicking. Yeah, that's fair. Good. Good, Monty. Tell me what you think of that book. I'm trying to have I heard many people talking about it? I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. I love thrillers. Well, I appreciate thrillers that do both. I do appreciate thrillers that start off slow and just have like a really good build of like suspense and action and all that. But I also really appreciate thrillers where the action starts right away and you were just on the edge of your seat the entire time. Like my favorite example of that would be The Passengers by John Mars. That is a thriller about like this random group of people that they're all in these separate driverless cars. Somebody hacks into all of these cars and resets their destination so that they will all collide in 2 hours. And the hacker basically forces these people to reveal like these awful secrets about themselves. And because it's got this like high speed chase kind of feel element to it, you just can't help but be on the edge of your seat the whole time. And John Mars also does like really short chapters, so you can't help but like keep reading, you know, really good stuff. Nice. Oh, yay. Oh my God. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, Carrie. I love Ash and Emma with my whole heart. They make me laugh so much. Love them. Oh, yeah. But see, wait. You say 2023, and now that I'm thinking about it, that's not actually like too far away when you think about it, because we're getting close to September, which that's kind of scary to think about. But usually when people say 2023, I think to myself, oh my God, that's so far away, and it's really not. Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like you've been having a lot of disappointing reads lately, Monty. Like you were, oh my God, what was it? The other day you were reading Zodiac Academy, and then last week you were reading that like literary fiction book that sounded absolutely terrible. Like, I need you to find good books for yourself, for your sanity, if nothing else. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm just having like a really fun time with this series. Literally one of the best YA science fiction-y contemporary series that I've ever read. Also, there's like the sweetest childhood friends to lovers romance between Nick, our main character, and Seth, his very best friend. So, so cute. In book one, it focused on them as friends, and they were definitely oblivious to each other, and like their friends and their family were all like, you obviously love each other. What the hell is wrong with you? And so now in book two, they are together, and it's just so great, so adorable, but also freaking hilarious because Nick's dad and Seth's aunt and uncle, they are just so funny and cringy. The way that they love to embarrass Seth and Nick. And oh man, it's just such a good time. Reading these books or rereading these books, it's making me want to reread House on the Cerulean Sea, as well as Under the Whispering Door. I'm also really excited about TJ Klune's next release, which is, let me think about it. I think it's the something about like the lives of puppets or something. I have no idea what that's about, but whatever he releases, I'm gonna read it. And I know I need to read more of the Green Creek. Is that what it's called? The Green Creek series? Because I read Wolf Song and I really enjoyed it for the most part. So yeah, needless to say, going forward, you will probably see me laughing during these next couple of sprints because yeah, I am dying and I'm having a good time. So I actually have a question for you guys. I'd love for us to talk about like TV and movies. Like, let's talk about it, because I'm always looking for more recommendations for TV shows and movies because I moved to where I am now in December. So I will be here a year in just a few months. And so I was very fortunate to have gotten like a nice TV setup. And so I can like, I have all my streaming services on there and stuff. So I've been watching a lot more of like Netflix. I have Hulu, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime as well. So if you have recommendations for those streaming services, definitely let me know. What I've been watching recently has been Netflix recently got the show that Leah Remini did about Scientology and the aftermath. And that show is phenomenal. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Literally every episode makes my jaw drop. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Like, what even is Scientology? Like, what? So well done. I also started watching because Netflix also has at least like the first season of Surviving R. Kelly. That show is absolutely fucking insane as well. Oh my God. The things that were going on in the 90s with R. Kelly and the people that he hurt. It's absolutely bonkers. So I've been watching that on Netflix as well. I've been rewatching Schitt's Creek for the first time. Basically, I'll just like put an episode on when I'm like eating lunch or dinner or something like that. Oh my God, just obsessed with that show. My love for Moira Rose and Catherine O'Hara knows no bounds. Like, talk about a genius character and actress as well. I mean, Catherine O'Hara is fantastic and like, wow, one of the best characters in a TV show ever, in my opinion. Also, I kind of have to look back. I've started keeping track of what I watch. Let's see. Like on my Instagram stories, if you follow me on Instagram, I've been keeping track of it. I actually have a highlight on my page that says 2022 TV/movies. So I'm gonna look at this real quick to see if I'm like forgetting anything that I want to talk about. Oh, I did recently watch. So I watched The Haunting of Hill House last year, like a while ago. I liked it. I didn't love it. I feel like a lot of episodes were boring, honestly. However, I then went on to watch Midnight Mass and Haunting of Bly Manor, which were created by or written by the same writers as Haunting of Hill House. I can't quite remember. It's the same people, a lot of the same actors as well. So I watched Midnight Mass like a month or so ago, and like, holy shit. That is like one of the best like horror shows I've ever watched. Oh my God, it's so good. The way that it uses Catholicism and the Catholic Church to like feed into the horror. I was raised Catholic, so I feel like I have even more of an appreciation for it. And I just feel like that show did such a good balance of like, yes, there's these horrifying scenes and elements, but there's also like some comedic moments. There's, lighter scenes. And the way that the show is just shot is just so well done. So I loved that show. Definitely my favorite of the three. And then Haunting of Bly Manor, I watched pretty recently as well, and I really liked that one. Like, if I had to rank the three of them, I would rank Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, and then Midnight Mass as my top favorite of the three. But Bly Manor was very well done as well. That one is based on Turn of the Screw by Henry James, I think is the author, and it's just a really interesting adaptation. And I don't know. I'm not like the biggest fan of like ghost horror like shows or movies or books, but I did really enjoy Haunting of Bly Manor, even though it is a ghost show. So let's look through some comments here. Sandman, I'm really interested in watching that series. I think that is also a comics series, and I have been getting in more and more into comics and manga, so I might check that out. Is Sandman connected to like another series or something? Like, it seems like it might be a spin-off of something else, but I could be getting it confused with something else. Okay, yeah, I saw that seems to be like brand new on Disney Plus. Y'all, I am so overwhelmed by all of the Marvel content. that exists. And it's all on Disney Plus, of course. And part of me wants to get more into it because I haven't watched a Marvel movie or TV show since I remember watching the first 2 seasons of Daredevil when it was on Netflix. So this was years ago. And then I remember watching the first Avengers movie, but I haven't watched any Marvel movies since then. So I feel like there's just way too much content for me to try to get caught up. And there's so many shows now. Like I feel like Disney Plus has been coming out with a new Marvel show like every month. It's just like so much content. Oh my goodness. Oh, nice. I am planning on reading the comics first. And then I'll jump into the show. But I'm very much looking forward to it. It seems to have a Stranger Things vibe to it, but all the main characters are young girls. Because right, they're all paper girls. Like they deliver papers, and it takes place in the 80s. And I'm assuming there's like time travel involved. I've heard that the comics are very confusing until like the last volume. So I don't know if it'll be for me, but I'm interested. Oh my god, yeah. Yes. So so good. There's 3 seasons that are on Netflix. I think there's only 3 seasons in existence. And guys, go watch this show. It is on Netflix. Go watch it. You have no excuse. It's phenomenal. Wow. Like it's absolutely batshit crazy what Scientology is and like how it oppresses people and like how it has harmed people and ruined lives. And yeah, it's just absolutely insane. Echoes. I saw because God, Netflix, speaking of too much content, Netflix, I feel like comes out with something new every day. So I saw like a banner for Echoes. It looks like it might be like a thriller type show. I'm not really sure. You'll have to let me know. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's the way to do it if you're gonna watch YouTube shows for sure. I do like true crime stuff. Like there's a few Netflix documentaries that I want to watch, but usually when I watch something, I want to watch something fictional. But I do enjoy like documentaries and true crime every now and then. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. Midnight Mass is to me was Chef's Kiss. Amazing. I'm very excited to see what he comes out with next. Nice. My mom is really into all of the Project Runway shows. So that's like the original show and then All Stars and then there's also a junior show. That's like her favorite. That's like the only reality show she watches because she's really into sewing and things like that. So she really appreciates the art of what these people do, sewing these amazing clothes and competing for, basically their own line. Well, the money to create their own line. I don't really watch reality TV actually. It's been a long time. I mean, every now and then I'll watch an episode of like Project Runway with my mom, but I'm not really into reality TV. I feel like because I know how scripted it is and like a lot of the formats annoy me. But I'm glad that you enjoy Big Brother, Love Island. I don't know what Snake in the Grass is, but yeah. Hey. Yeah, it looks really good, The Sandman. So I have never, speaking of House of the Dragon, I have never, ever, ever watched Game of Thrones or read the series, and I have literally no interest to. None. I feel like Game of Thrones was a show that, like, if you didn't watch it at the time, you're never gonna watch it because the hype is gone, you know? So I don't know. But I'm glad that you're excited for House of the Dragon. Oh, yes. Come on, classic rom-coms. Yeah, they're just so good. So, so good. Lock and Key. I saw that. Is that new on Netflix? Again, that is also a comic series that I plan on. I think I'm gonna binge it in October because Ashley from Bookish Realm and Bree from The Locked Booktician, I'm gonna link them down in the description below after the live stream is over. They host this comics book club every month. And so in October, they're reading all 6 volumes of Lock and Key. So I think I might just binge the whole series with them. And I think it's gonna be perfect for October. It just seems really creepy. I have no idea. I mean, I'm assuming it's horror, but I don't know anything other than that. Jen, you're asking the real questions. I literally just watched an episode. I'm on season 2. I kind of watched the show out of order on accident. I'm on season 2 at the moment, and I just watched an episode where they were talking about David Miscavige and how he took over Scientology, and then how his wife Shelley has not been seen in public since like 2006 or 2007, and it's like absolutely bonkers. And it seems like Leah Remini is like the only person who's been trying to find her because everybody in Scientology is way too terrified of David Miscavige to do anything about it. Bonkers. Yeah, yeah. If you enjoy it, love that for you. I don't think it's for me. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be my vibe. Oh, that's what it is. I knew something new came out, so it must be a new season. Yes, latest season just came out. So I'm definitely going to look into it. I'm going to read the comics first and then, yeah, get into it. Oh yeah, I've been seeing ads for it. HBO Max, right? Yep. Sort of a thriller. Okay. I'll look into it. I might add it to my to watch list. Hmm. Yeah, I definitely will. I'm getting more and more into comics, so um my immediate TBR for comics is like Paper Girls, Lock and Key. I want to get more into Something is Killing the Children because I read volume 1 of that, really enjoyed it. I have a couple more volumes left to read of Fence. And then, y'all, I need to read Saga. Volume 1 is just sitting in my Kindle app because I think all the volumes, or maybe some of them, are on Kindle Unlimited. So volume 1 is just sitting on my Kindle. I have no excuse. Why haven't I read it yet? I feel like I keep forgetting that it's sitting on my Kindle. And I've been reading more manga than comics. Um, so yeah, I need to read it. I need to read it. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about that series. I'm trying to think of what else have I been watching lately. I feel like I have a bunch of different series like on my like Netflix queue, and I've been adding more and more things like every time I log into the app. Um, but yeah. Also, I forgot to bring up from this comment, yes, Golden Girls, literally one of my favorite shows of all time. Oh my God. I was like raised on the Golden Girls because that show comes on. Well, when I was really young, they would put episodes on Lifetime, and now they have episodes on Hallmark, the Hallmark Channel. And so I know every single episode. I could probably quote several episodes because like my whole family, like my mom, my sister, and myself, like we love that show with our whole hearts. Another show kind of from that era that I love to pieces is The Nanny. Oh my God, I love that show so much. So good, so funny, obsessed. Oh, wait, I'll read this one first. Yeah, I was literally theorizing about Shelley the other day because, like I said, I just watched the episode where they really delved into her disappearance. Um, I don't think she's dead. I think that David is keeping her in a compound, just like one of his compounds that like nobody else has access to. There's no way she's in the whole at the international headquarters. There's no way that he would keep her around any other Scientologists or any other people. She is completely by herself somewhere else. And oh, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Shelley Miscavige, who is the wife of David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology. So we're talking about a lot of different things right now. So, oh, nice. Oh, okay. I'll look into that. Interesting. Yep, absolutely terrifying. Mhm. Okay, but, like, I'm both. Sometimes I'm very good about actually going through my watch list, like, when I don't know what to watch, and I'll pick something, but sometimes I'll just scroll through Netflix generally, or, like, I'll pick a genre that I'm in the mood for, and I'll pick something from there. So, in some ways, I do pick from my watch list, and some and in some ways, there are things sitting on my watch list that have been sitting on my watch list since I got that account, which was probably over 5 years ago. So, there's that. Yeah, literally so funny. One of my favorite shows ever. I wish I could find it on a streaming service. I've heard that it's on Netflix, but, like, UK's Netflix, so if I got a VPN, I could access it that way, but I'm lazy and I'm poor. Do I need to really be paying for another service like a VPN, even though I know I should be because it protects me and my data and everything? Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, Jen. That's what I'm saying. I am not convinced that that woman is going to die um without us knowing. Like I just have this feeling deep in my bones that we will find out something in our lifetime. We have to. We have to. Like there's no way that like Shelly and David are going to die and we're just not going to know anything. Like I refuse to believe it. I refuse. Yes, it's so good. Yes. Well, you know that he put her away cuz she knew too much. If anybody knows too much, it's Shelly Miscavige for sure. Oh, that's a streaming service I don't have. Dang it. The one that I don't have. That's a good theory. I didn't even think about if they had a kid. But at the same time, if they I feel like if they had a kid, David would be flaunting that kid around like his prodigy, his heir, his prodigy. I'm talking about this as if they're the mafia. In some ways they are like the mafia. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good theory though. But I feel like if he had a kid, he'd want that kid to be as prominent in the public eye as he is. I don't know, but that's a good theory. Yeah, HBO Max. Yep. hmm Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. They like, of course, they had like no relationship, but at the same time, I feel like David is the type of person that would have like demanded at least one child from her. So it's possible. But once again, if they had a kid, I feel like that kid would be famous, just as famous as David is. But yeah, I don't know. He's a freaking weirdo anyway. Who knows? There's no use analyzing him. So I think we're gonna go ahead and jump into another sprint. This time, let's do a 30-minute sprint. So let me change the time on here real quick. And then all right, and then I will share my screen. All right. Okay. So we're going to go into a 30-minute sprint now. And then yeah, then we'll go on from there. And then like I said, I we'll most likely like we'll have a chat and then we'll most likely do like a 20-minute sprint to just kind of round things out with this stream. Okay. So I hope that everybody has a good sprint. All right. Welcome back, everyone. All right. How did everybody's sprint go? I'm just finishing up underlining something. Now that I'm rereading this, I'm kind of annotating this, but like really all I'm doing is just like underlining quotes that are either important to the story or just quotes that I love, quotes that are really funny. And then I'm putting little reactions like LOL, OMG, making little faces, things like that. I don't do a ton when it comes to annotating. That's kind of um, the gist of it. Although with some books, like with Sarah J. Maas's books, I'll also use like different color tabs for different things. Um, but yeah, I just read another at least like 25 pages, I would say. Yep, which isn't too bad. And I turned off my camera because I actually decided to do a little bit of multitasking. So I was washing some dishes while continuing to listen to the audiobook for this. So yeah, I am now on page, let's see, 70. So pretty good for a couple of sprints. So let me know how your sprints went. You have a point. You have a point, Jen. We're going back to our discussion about Scientology. I know, we're almost done, I promise. But Jen brought up some good points because they don't want you to have kids in Scientology. The only thing I will say, and yes, they have forced people to have abortions, and it's absolutely bonkers. The only thing I'll say is that I feel like David Miscavige is one of those people that I feel like the rules don't apply to him, you know? But at the same time, he's such a devoted Scientologist that absolutely he would feel threatened by an heir. So we're going to stop with our discussion of Scientology, but I do agree with your thoughts, Jen. Oh, okay. Good night, Monica. Hey, Christy. See, that's part of the reason why I stick to this timer because, like, literally every time somebody jumps, there's some like funny reaction, and I'm so glad that you guys tell me about it. Please tell me about your funny reactions to the cat meowing. It gives me life. Okay. How are you liking that? I've been meaning to check out this author. I know that I feel like in another sprint that either I did or we did for the last readathon, I feel like you were reading another book by this author. Come on, Priest. I feel like that's a book that, I mean, I guess it is quite polarizing, but it's also a book that I feel like it takes time for you to get really invested into the story and to get it out of your head that it's like, that it's just a priest romance, because it really is like so much more than that in a lot of ways. And honestly, what I loved most about that book was that was how Sierra Simone wrote about Catholicism and Tyler, the hero's relationship with God, and like how he sees his relationship and how like his interpretation of like talking to God. I really loved that aspect of the book. And I mean, Sierra Simone sold me on the romance too. I wasn't sold at the beginning by any means, but she sold me. I read Praise back in June, really enjoyed it, and I have the audiobook for the second book, Eyes on Me, and I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy that book even more. I need to read it. I just need to read it. It's one of those books that keeps getting put on the back burner of my TBR, but I know I'm going to enjoy it, and it's only like a 7.5 hour audiobook. Like, I have no excuse. Oh, nice. Are you enjoying it? I definitely need to read more from that author. Hey, Ashton. Ooh! Manacled. Wow. What can I say? What can I say about Manacled? It's still the best thing I've ever read this I've read so far this year, and arguably one of the best things I've ever read. At the same time, it's not something I would recommend to everyone. For those of you guys that don't know what Manacled is, it is essentially a Hermione fan fiction. So Draco Malfoy, Hermione Granger fan fiction, but it's also so much more than that. It basically centers around the idea of like uh Harry Potter died in the war. Pretty much all the characters you love died in the war. So Voldemort has like taken over. There's also a Handmaid's Tale element in there, and I mean, I could talk about this for hours. Me and Jen both could talk about talk about this fan fiction for hours. But like, if you like look up the content warnings, if you can handle the content warnings, I highly, highly recommend it. It's also a very, very long fan fiction. It will take you a long time to get through, most likely. It took me about 2 weeks to get through. Now, I wasn't only reading that. I was reading other books at the same time because it's such a dark story that I needed to read other like lighthearted things at the same time. But it's a commitment. That's all I'll say. No lies detected. Dante, yeah. Dante is like, I have multiple book husbands. I have book boyfriends, and then I have like a few book husbands as well. And like, Dante is a book husband. I need to. So I read this duet for the first time in February, and honestly, I want to reread it already. Also, the audiobooks recently came out around the time that I read the duet, and highly recommend the audiobooks. Both narrators did a fantastic job, especially the narrator for Dante, because he did a really good job with Dante's accent, because Dante doesn't have like just an Italian accent. He has kind of like a mix between like a British and an Italian accent, and that narrator did a really good job, in my opinion, of nailing that accent. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think I warned you guys before that last sprint. I need to remember to warn you every time. I should just have a banner that says, get ready for a meow. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I know. I know. 10% of that fan fiction, yeah, like you feel like you've accomplished nothing because it's like, oh my God, I'm only 11% in. But so much happened. I mean, so much is happening in each each percent of that, for sure. Yeah. I also highly recommend that you read this fan fiction while putting on um like a Slytherin ambience video of some kind. There's a few that I found on YouTube that like really set the scene for me. I think specifically I was listening to or like watching one that was titled like Nocturne Alley, and that like really puts you in the mood for this fan fiction for sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. I she's just one of those authors that I hear things about. I hear good things about. I know I have a couple of her books on my TBR, and I just never get to it. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just it is a commitment. As much as I adore that story with my whole heart, it is a commitment. I highly recommend reading a little bit at a time. Like, I don't know, maybe a chapter a day. The chapters themselves aren't too long. There is an audiobook, by the way, for like I would say the first 2/3 of the fanfic. I don't think that those podcasters finished making the audiobook, but most of it is on Spotify. And that will also help you get through it. So I would recommend reading maybe a chapter, maybe 2 chapters a day of this, and reading something else, because it's just a lot. And yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about, because I feel like there's only one Malfoy Manor. ASMR video on YouTube, and yeah, that's also a really good one to listen to while reading it. Love that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The audiobook to me, it's decent. It's well done, you know. I mean, obviously not the most amazing audiobook out there, but like I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's completed, but I think at least like the first 56 chapters are on Spotify, and I think that fan fiction has a total of like 77 chapters, something along those lines, something like that. But speaking of ambience videos, I have gotten so into putting like very specific types of ambience videos on my TV while I'm reading something. Like, um, most of what I read is with an audiobook, so I don't put on ambience because like I have headphones on. But for like when I'm reading manga or comics or like novellas that don't have audiobooks, or just books that don't have audiobooks in general, um, I love to put on like very specific ambience videos, and it just like really sets the mood. I feel like ambience also helps me focus on my reading and on the experience, on the story, all that good stuff. And there's some amazing creators on YouTube making these ambience videos. They're very good quality. I can always find the vibe that I'm looking for. Someone just asked what are ambience videos. So an ambience video is it's basically a video where like the creator has put some kind of image on the screen. And it's usually like a moving image of like a setting or a type of vibe or something like that. And then there's like sound effects and like maybe even some music added in to like add to the ambience, if that makes sense. Um, I don't know if that explained it all that well, but if you search just like anything ambience video on YouTube, you'll find what I mean. Just put one of those videos on and you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's this one ambience video that I am obsessed with. It's technically called like Crimson Peak Ambience, but it's basically like the perfect video to put on if you're reading a gothic novel, like whether that be gothic romance, gothic fiction, even like a gothic like thriller horror novel. It's like, oh, it's so good. I love when I find those like very specific niche ambience videos. Like they just add something to the reading experience for sure. So I put on an ambience video when I'm not listening to an audiobook because I have headphones in when I'm listening to an audiobook, so I won't be able to hear the ambient sounds on my TV if I have my headphones in. So I only put on ambience videos when I'm reading something only physically, whether that be manga, comics, novellas, books that don't have audiobooks, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's like tons and tons of them. Tons and tons of them on YouTube. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, Netflix has everything, so I can't say, I'm surprised that they have something like that on there. Yeah, I think it's literally called like Crimson Peak Ambience or something, and it's perfectly done because there's also some like eerie and like unsettling and maybe slightly scary sounds in there that just are perfect for spooky season. Like that's when I discovered that video. Um yeah. I might make a playlist and put it on my channel of like my favorite ambience videos. We'll see. Ooh, Ashton, you are coming in with some ideas. Yes. Okay, I'm writing that down. That's a really good idea. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and then I can like link specific ambience videos. Like, okay, I need to write this down. All right. I love it. You guys are giving me ideas. Yes. Yeah. I especially love putting them on during spooky season when I want that creepy vibe or just that like fall, autumn, Halloween vibe. Um, yeah, they're perfect. And I love putting them on during the winter as well because I found some really great videos where it's like snowing outside or like if it's like Christmas time, it just really gets you in the Christmas mood and like it's just perfect, especially when you're reading like a Christmas romance. So good. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. I have some dark academia ones that I've really been enjoying. Yeah, it's perfect for gothic books. That ambience video, yes. Yes, highly recommend them. Highly, highly recommend them. Especially if you have like they're perfect if you're reading in a room where you have your TV, so you can put the video on your TV and just enjoy your reading time. I also find that ambience videos help me relax as well. Because I do find when I'm reading with just silence, no sound, um, I find it just a little bit more to like a little bit more difficult to completely relax. So like ambience videos help in that way too. Yeah, excellent idea for sure. Ooh. I mean, yes, it's niche because like how many people are reading between Wrath and Mercy, but like also nobody else is going to be making that video. So, I mean, if I say if you want to do it, go for it. Like, I am the biggest advocate for making the content that you want to make, making the content that you're excited about, and making the content that you would watch. Like, I know that this sounds weird, but I do watch my own content after I upload them because it's content that I genuinely enjoy. And I've gotten to a point where, like, I'm 29 and I've been a performer for years. And yes, when I was younger, I used to cringe so hard at like watching myself talk or sing, like perform, anything like that. But like as I've gotten older, I've just gotten like just more and more used to myself on video. So like, I don't know, I actually do like watching my content, you know? And also because I put so much work into it, and so, like, I don't know, I'm proud of myself when I look at all the content that I've made and, like, when you guys leave comments and you're enjoying the content, like, that's just, like, everything to me. Oh, yeah. Ambience, yeah. No, that's a good point. I will say when I'm searching for an ambience video, sometimes it takes me a few tries to find one that doesn't have too much noise. And most of the time, I actually don't enjoy ambience videos that have music because I do get distracted by music. So it's definitely a happy, like you have to find a balance, a happy medium of what works for you. For me, I like sounds, but I don't want too many sounds and I don't want it to be too loud. So I guess I'm a little bit picky in that way. Absolutely. Yep. Like I said, especially for spooky season, which y'all, I am so ready. I am so ready for spooky season. Oh my God. Because every year I save up all these like creepy type books that I want to read. And like, it finally gets cooler here. I live in Southeast Louisiana. It's hot all the freaking time and humid as hell. And so when it finally gets cooler in like October, November, like, yes. And then Christmas is right around the corner and winter. Winter, I think, is my favorite season. I was also born in the winter, so maybe that's why. But yeah. Yeah, I like those. Yeah, I like more like subtle ones where it's just like maybe creaking sounds or rain sounds, or like fireplace sounds I really enjoy as well. Um, or like I said with the gothic ones or the creepier ones where there's like eerie sounds. unsettling sounds because it just really immerses me into the book that I'm reading. Yes, yes, those are my favorite too. And they're usually like Christmas themed, and they're my favorite. Yes, they just help me get into the Christmas mood, Christmas spirit. Absolutely. But I didn't get into ambience videos until around the time that I moved here, and I had the setup where I had a TV in the same room where I was reading, and things like that. So yeah. All right. Why don't we do? Let's go ahead and do one more sprint. I I was gonna do 20 minutes because I was gonna do like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and then 20 minutes, but I kind of want to do another 30-minute sprint because I would really like to read, quite a bit more of my book tonight. So let's do another 30-minute sprint. This is going to be the last sprint of the night. Be warned that there is a kitty cat that is going to meow. Look at it. There it is. It is going to meow at the end of the 30 minutes. I would highly suggest lowering the volume on whatever device you have going right now so that it doesn't scare you. Like I said, if you have headphones, I would also suggest putting headphones on because that further muffles the sound so you won't be scared. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. One more 30-minute sprint. I hope that you guys have a good sprint, and I'll talk to you guys in 30 minutes. Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone. All right, let me get rid of this. We are back. So I am now on page 96 of my book. Once again, I'm currently reading Flash Fire by TJ Klune, book 2 in the Extraordinary series. Obsessed. So yeah, I read 96 pages during our sprint tonight, which I think is pretty darn good. Let me know how much progress you made like throughout the entirety of our sprints tonight. I would really like to know. Yeah. All right, let me just put my bookmark here. And let's see if we have any comments. We always appreciate another warning. Oh yeah, going back to the ambience videos. Yeah, I love thunderstorms. I love especially sleeping during thunderstorms. So yeah, I love listening to ambience videos that have like thunderstorm sounds. So yeah, just let me know what you guys have gotten through tonight. Nice, Stacy. Nice, 65% through. Yeah, definitely let me know like what you guys like started at tonight and like what you ended at. Oh, nice. Hey, that's over 10% and you missed the first sprint, which was 40 minutes. So that's pretty good for like an hour of reading essentially. Nice, 40%. Waking Olivia. I've heard really good things about that book. Yeah, 30%, that's nice. Yeah, I need to check out Elizabeth O'Rourke for sure. Addicted to You. Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, with Manacled, I can remember, like, I swear I'd read like 20 pages and I'd barely get through like 8% of the book, of the ebook. Like, yeah, it's kind of disheartening in that way because it's such a massive story. Like, you feel like you're making no progress when, like I said, you've read like 30 pages or so, right? Yeah. So good. Yes. Oh my God. Did you like love it even more upon reread? So good. Dante is one of those heroes, like, he's got that big dick energy and he's iconic. And I love him so much. The way that he loves Elena and the things that he does for her, and like, so good. And of course, their sex scenes are amazing. Their romance is amazing. Like, everything about them is amazing. I like, don't be shocked if this is like one of my top 10 romances that I read in 2022. Like, it's just that good, you know? He is. He literally, yes, you nailed it. You nailed it. He's so swoony, the right amount of alpha. I love that their story has like this grumpy sunshine vibe of like Elena being the grumpy one and he's kind of sunshiny, very charming. He loves to get under her skin and like, but he's obsessed with her at the same time. Like, he's perfect. He's perfect. I need to read more from Jonah Darling. Have you read the Enthralled duet? Because I know that duet is about Elena's sister, and I know that that's like very, very dark. So yeah, let me know if you read it and if you enjoyed it, because I'm definitely really curious about that duet. And I also need to read her like Motorcycle Club series. I can't remember what it's called now, but I need to read that series for sure. Yeah, I really don't have any more thoughts about Flashfire than like what I've already said in this stream. Like I said, like I'm on page 96, So like things are happening. I adore this romance between Seth and Nick with my whole heart. Like the sweetest and cutest childhood friends to lovers romance ever. And this is YA. I mean, obviously you can probably tell. Um, but yeah, and I love the way that TJ Klune writes superheroes. It's very fun, very campy. Of course, there are like very like serious moments. I think he does a good job of balancing the funny with the serious and with everything in between. And like, oh my god, I'm so excited to finish this reread, and then I'm gonna eventually start Heat Wave, which is the third and final book. This one just came out like last week or something like that. And then in terms of what else I need to be reading, I need to be doing all of my reading for SJM along for this month. So that includes the last novella of The Assassin's Blade bind up. So that is The Assassin. I think it's The Assassin. Yeah, The Assassin and the Empire. So I need to read this last novella, and then I need to read Empire of Storms. I'm rereading this series for the first time. So like my copies are already like all tapped up and everything. But this might be my new favorite book of the series. So I'm excited, really excited to do this reread. But the live show for both of these is on August 31st on Crystal's channel, Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life. So definitely be on the lookout for that live show if you've been keeping up with SJM along. But yeah, I'm also excited to finally read the conclusion of this series at some point this week. We will just have to see. Fallen Men, yes, yes, Fallen Men. Thank you. I need to read it. Oh, okay. Not as much as this one, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that I don't know much about Enthralled. I mean, except what we know about her sister's story. Is it Cosima? Isn't that her name? From the Antiheroes and Love Duet. But I mean, I have a feeling that it's a very different vibe. And I've heard that it's just very, very dark and very different. So okay. That makes sense. It's also interesting because obviously like she wrote the When Heroes Fall duet very recently, and then Enthralled, from what I understand, I feel like Enthralled, that duet was like one of the first things that she published. So there's quite a big gap, I feel like, in terms of like maybe her writing style, like coming into her own craft. So that also makes sense as to why they would be two very different stories. They are. They are. Guys, if you are looking for a mafia romance recommendation, The Antiheroes in Love duet by Gianna Darling, my top recommendation. They are everything. I love both Dante and Elena with my whole heart. That doesn't happen all the time. Usually I'll love the hero way more than the heroine, but like I love these two equally. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, because we got to read that novella, and then Empire of Storms is like 600 and something pages. So yeah, like I need to get on that. Luckily, I do have the audiobooks. I bought all of the audiobooks off of Audible when I had some extra credits, and maybe they were having a sale or something. So I do have the audiobook, which is nice. But yeah. Nice, Linda. That's good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know about the affair. Or maybe I did, because now like a cover is coming to mind. Okay. Yes. Yep, that makes sense. Ooh, was it a reread for you? Like I said, this is gonna be my first time. This is my first time rereading all of Sarah J. Maas's books, though I still have not read House of Sky and Breath. Don't attack me, please. It's just, I know I'm going to have to reread House of Earth and Blood before I can go into Sky and Breath. And I'm not motivated right now to read two 800-page fantasy novels right now. Like, that's just the bottom line there. And I had something else I was going to say about, oh, well, I mean, we have no idea when the next book in the series is coming out anyway. So, like, I'm not in a rush to read Sky and Breath. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. I hope you will join us for that live show. I'm very excited to discuss Empire of Storms for sure. Oh, I've never read anything by Sabrina Jeffries, but I am a sucker for a historical pirate romance. So definitely let me know if you enjoy that. Yeah, I know that like I could get away with doing that, but like for me personally, I really need to literally reread every word of that first book before like I would feel like excited about going into book 2 or like ready to go into book 2. Does that make sense? But I'm sure that like yeah, if you watched an in-depth discussion of Earth and Blood, you'd be just fine, but like for me, I feel like I need to reread that first book. But at the same time, that first book, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it, but like that book, there are parts that are kind of tedious and slow to get through. So that's also why I'm not like chomping at the bit to reread that first book so that I can read Sky and Breath. But at the same time, I know I like need to read Sky and Breath because I know the ending of that book was like crazy and bonkers. And apparently, the ending of that book confirms a definite connection between two of her series. I mean, we're not going to talk about spoilers here or anything, but that's what I've heard. So, like, I feel like I need to read it, but I'm not going to rush into it at the same time. Yeah. Honestly, truly, I don't think I'm going to read Sky and Breath until those books come up for the readathon. So I'll do my reread of Earth and Blood. I think Earth and Blood is in January of next year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe February. And then I'll read Sky and Breath for the first time with the read along. Yeah. Oh, you're reading Throne of Glass for the first time? How are you liking it? I always get so worried when people tell me that they're reading that series for the first time because I know that the first 2 books are not it. And it always worries me that people are going to give up on the series, but I'm like, you guys, you have to get to Air of Fire. Air of Fire is so good. Like, don't give up on the series, you know? But I also hate being one of those people that's like, you just have to get through these first couple of books before it gets good. Like, I hate being that person, but like, that is the case with Throne of Glass. Like, it just is. So, ooh, we are going up on the 3-hour mark. um, this was a fun time doing reading sprints. I had a really good time doing these last weekend as well. I hope that you guys have been enjoying it. Oop, we got another comment after book 3. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair. I feel like they are very different series. All 3 of her series to me are very different in some ways, and in some ways they are very similar. Um, in like the types of characters that she writes and things like that. So that's fair. But I'm glad that you read book 3 because, yeah, it makes me sad when people DNF the series before book 3. So at least like you now know that the series isn't for you. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Did you like Queen of Shadows? Because I feel like Queen of Shadows is a huge turning point. Like when I first read the series, I really liked Air of Fire, but it was not a 5-star read for me. But Queen of Shadows for me was the turning point where I was like, oh shit, this is like one of my favorite series ever. You know? So yeah. Good. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you've joined in with us and you're having a good time. I'm so glad that Jen organized it. Yeah, I think these discussions are really great for both first time readers and for people who are rereading it, no matter how many times they've read it at this point. I have no opinions because I've only read book one. So I have no I really yeah, I have nothing to say on that. I mean, I liked them in the first book, but I'm assuming things change a lot in book two. Um, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, Queen of Shadows is a turning point in so many ways. That book blew my mind and like knocked me on my ass when I read it for the first time. That's one of the very few books that I wish I could read for the first time again because unfortunately because I knew the gist of what was going to happen when I reread it, I didn't love it quite as much. I still really enjoyed it because it's just such a genius story and like the way that like Sarah J. Maas like connected certain plot points and like I don't know and things come together at the end of Queen of Shadows like that's genius but like yeah I knew about all the shocking events that were going to happen so unfortunately it wasn't as like mind-blowing of an experience when I reread it but it is what it is. I'm very excited about rereading Empire of Storms and just continuing on with the SJM along. You are very welcome, Stacy. So yeah, with oh yeah, things change a lot in Queen of Shadows. We're also back in Otterlon for Queen of Shadows. I think Air of Fire, I can see why some people would struggle through it because you're in Wendland the whole time. Although you do see like Dorian and Kale's POV. But yeah. Maybe give Queen of Shadows a chance. Although I will say Queen of Shadows starts off, you might not like this, but Queen of Shadows starts off kind of slow. You have to get to page like 200 and then things pick up considerably. So I just wanted to throw that out there in case you did want to give Queen of Shadows a shot. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I will say I don't love their characters as much as I love like Aelin and Rowan and the ACOTAR characters I like. I'm not as passionate about the ACOTAR characters as I am about Throne of Glass. So yeah. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. But I love Rowan with my whole heart, and I feel like Aelin needed somebody like Rowan to challenge her and help her to become the person that she needs to become, basically. But I mean, I'm not going to excuse the things that he does and says to her, especially towards the beginning of that book. I mean, he does literally punch her at one point, but I can't help but love Rowan. And especially like by Queen of Shadows, like you will like, maybe you won't, but like I fully fell in love with him by Queen of Shadows. So yeah. Right. Okay, I hate to say it, but I laughed at that point. I'm sorry. I laughed just because of like, it's not funny in real life. It is not funny in real life, but honestly, in that situation, I thought it was just so freaking funny just because like Selena was doing the most and being an ass and like, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. She does love to switch it up. Okay, I could discuss Sarah J. Maas and Throne of Glass and all of those amazing things for hours, but I do need to get going. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I was seeing based on like how many people are watching that more people watched this stream than last week's, which is really exciting that my channel is growing in that way. And I hope that you got some good reading done and you had a good time hanging out with me. I always love hanging out with you all. Talking with you all in the comments is so much fun. And like, this is just what my soul needs. Like, I feel like I'm hanging out with friends when I do these live shows. So I hope that you guys had a good time tonight. Of course, you are very, very welcome. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these next weekend. We will just have to see. It depends on if I'm in the mood. really. But Saturday nights are a good night for me to do these kinds of things. So we will see. You will find out because I schedule these in advance, and they'll show up on your subscriber feeds or whatever, your main page on YouTube. Of course, you're very welcome. So, with all that being said, yeah, I'm grateful to have you guys and to hang out tonight. And I will see you guys in the next video or in the next stream. So I hope you guys have a good night. Bye, everyone.